And I think that's it. That is for the grants. And I'm going to ask Mr. Hall to speak for a minute via those grants.
Yeah, I would just like to thank Chris Huber, who is here on behalf of the district. She is the foundation guru, if you will. It's nice to see more of these coming forward. I know I owe you another email to the rest of the staff reminding them that the foundation is here for these kinds of things, but I kind of lose track of things. So when I saw the agenda and I'm like, Education Foundation, Education Foundation, Education Foundation, it's nice to know that that process is working and that it will continue to work, and that, you know, our foundation is active and viable, and you know, there's opportunities here. The one gal I think is going to a national conference that if they would have came to us and said, can we go to a national conference? They wouldn't be going.
3 of them are going.
Yeah, 3 of them are gone. So I want to make sure that we're aware of what the foundation is doing and how they are really benefiting our kids, and it's only going to get better. So again, thank you for coming. Thank you for these. It's great.
Did you tell her about the ones we're going to ask? Okay.
I'm meeting with her tomorrow to tell her this.
And I also second that. We certainly appreciate it. You guys provide quite a bit of scholarship money for the students too, so it's a great source of funding for our district. 8.03 is the Autism Society grant. That is a $500 grant. Let's see here. Now we're going to go to 8.06. Which is a bid tabulation for a 12 by 22 foot precast post-tension concrete restroom building. Mr. Gilpart.
I would like to ask your indulgence for a few minutes, because not only am I going to provide you background information for that specific bid tabulation, hopefully by the time I'm done you'll have a much better understanding, especially for new boards, kind of the process, where we've been, where we're at, and where we will be going. Many years ago, well, not that many, years ago, for those of you who are not familiar, we lost a very good administrator, much too soon, David Hanlon, and there was an agreement between the Hanlon family and the district to dedicate the portion of east of Cawhee to the David P. Hanlon complex. Now, at the time it was called Sports Complex, and as everything does, it has evolved over those 15 years in terms of what has been done and what we finally as a board and a district have approved to do. Just so you understand, and also the community understands, we refer to it as the David Hanlon Complex, Sports Complex, only as identification. Okay? It's not a sports renovation that we're involved in on the east side. However, I am, along with Mr. Hall later this week, meeting with the Hanlon and the police family, and we are going to finalize some of the dedication pieces that will go with the complex. And our suggestion is going to be that we rephrase it and make it the David P. Hanlon Community Sports Complex. Because as we go through this, you'll see it's more than just some athletics. Again, I want to remind the board that at the initiation of the $30 million bond, and quite frankly, much before that, and as Mr. Fugate referred to, when we were in the process of trying to figure out whether we were going to consolidate 2 high schools, even in that process, the administration at the building level developed a priority list. That priority list carried over into expending that $30 million. And that priority list made safety and security number 1, upgrades to the building infrastructure number 2, expenditures to enhance curriculum number 3, and expenditures to enhance the extracurricular facilities. We have done all 4 of those very well. Up to date, we have spent nearly $22 million on the first 3. By the time we're done with the grant, we will have expended about $4 million on that last one. When you look at the McDowell campus and the process we've been involved with and what we call the David Hanlon Complex, it started with the addition and the change of that parking lot from the east side to the west side, which has worked out very well, not only in its location, but also in terms of traffic in and off of Kahi. We've done two very good things in the last couple of years to help minimize traffic, or at least direct traffic a little bit better off of Kahi, and that was the entrance to MIHS and the addition to this parking lot on the west side. What we're working on now is on the east side, we are going to maintain some parking space, okay? And we will also have quite ample green space. As you drive by Kahi right now, you see big 30-inch, 36-inch corrugated plastic or synthetic tubing. That is for the stormwater management. That is a township requirement, part of the land development plan. Anytime you put in hardscape or change the scape, you must develop a stormwater management plan. And quite frankly, 70% of the cost of this project is stormwater management. Those big pipes and what it takes to put those in. Of course, we're also going to add sidewalks. They're going to run the full length of 38th Street from CVS to Kahi, and from 38th Street down Kahi to the end of our property. Part of the project is putting a multi-purpose practice turf field. This will increase availability for our athletic teams. It'll increase access by almost 70%, because even in weather like today, if a team decided to go out and practice, they could do that on the turf, not be muddy. They'd be cold and wet, but they wouldn't be muddy. So it extends your practice, your availability time tremendously, and with over 17 or even more than that, I think 18 outside kinds of activities and sports, it is needed. What we have, and this is where things evolve, this actually has evolved from our basketball coaches. I'm talking with them later this week. During the summer and off season, there are quite a few outdoor 3-on-3 tournaments that we not only run, but Marsh Real Estate runs. They actually ask for our facility. Adding that basketball court is not going to cost a dime except for the paint. We're going to simply utilize that blacktop that's there, eliminate some parking spots, and put in 2 courts that will be able to play long ways and 6 courts sideways. This will do 2 things. Number 1, it'll help enhance our athletic facilities, outside exposure. Number 2, basketball during gym class. When you go over there, you can give opportunities to play basketball outside, play tennis. But number 3, also now we start to incorporate the idea of a community center. These are open 24 hours for people to use.
Tom,
Yes.
unless you're not going to allow a team to score, we're going to have to put baskets up.
I will, but it was way too I was too busy teaching Tiny Tim. It's one of my primary responsibilities, just in case anybody's interested.
They could be virtual.
Continuing on, part of this project is that, I don't want to say monument, but that acknowledgement of the David P. Hanlon Center. Initially, the family, and this was kind of like just the idea that popped out, they talked about an archway that would go over this main entrance off of 38th Street. It's nice, but there's all kind of problems with it. It doesn't meet a single ordinance for the township. It's too big. I can't get it far enough away from the road. So in our discussion on Friday, I'm going to, along with Mr. Hall, try to talk to Hanlon and the police family into more of a, if you're familiar with MIHS, that alumni pavilion that's there with the benches, again, enhancing the idea of a community center. I'm going to try to talk them into something like that that would simply say David P. Hanlon's community sports complex on both sides. Okay?
And again, just to clarify, the money for that piece is coming from one of the accounts in the foundation. It's the Hanlon Field Fund that's been sitting over there for that purpose. There's probably about $25 set aside. So when that piece goes on, that money will be coming out.
$25?
25,000.
I'm sorry, it's going to gazebo.
We'll start small with the gazebo.
It's low bid, sir.
$25.
The next piece, I'm going to give credit where his credit is due. Mr. Kabilka, myself, Mr. Klaus, and Mr. Hall had a discussion the other day, and Mr. Kabilka came up with the idea of putting a playground